Hey, and welcome. So this is a new concept that we're going to be doing. I'm not sure on how regular we'll figure that out, but it is a coffee chat with Virginia and I, because a lot of people have been asking for us just to have a coffee chat. So I'm not sure what we're going to talk about today, but we're going to talk about something, and that's usually how Virginia and I work. So I'm going to bring her on, and we'll just have our little chat here. Well, good
Well,
morning.
good morning.
I was gonna say we were both in our bathrobes like two minutes ago.
Yeah,
So we
yes, we were running through in to try to get everything to go.
well, and the good thing is I'm at a table now that doesn't shake as much.
Thank God.
So
Thank God. That used to drive me nuts. And that used to drive me crazy because after it'd be over, I said, why can you can keep it from moving?
I mean it does a little bit, but the camera is on a tripod now as opposed to being on the screen. But the only problem is that if I turn to look at you, then I'm looking like this.
It is. You are. I see you and I'm thinking, is he talking to me?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with Zoom meetings, and people don't even realize is that you have to face the camera, but then you want to see the person that you're talking to. So,
Exactly.
and that's why I always used to keep it on the monitor. But then you got the problem with if you hit the table, then the monitor shakes.
Crazy.
So there's always something happening. So somebody's already saying good morning. They must be in the Lamplight group, Facebook group. So I'm not sure who that is because it doesn't tell me it is. But good morning to whoever just commented.
Yes.
So
How are you
one
doing this morning?
So being coffee chat, one of the things I wanted to chat about, and that's been big on my mind, is this energy coming into 2024. Virginia called me up the other day and said, "Are you feeling this?" And at first I was like, no, I'm not feeling it." But then I realized, no, I definitely was feeling it. It's towards the end of the year, there was a bunch of, well, the whole month of December was this off and on. It was almost like I was in a great mood, then I wasn't in a good mood, and I was like, or I was depressed, or I was like this. And I really think that that was people are going to think I'm crazy, but I think it was a benefit because it made me look at things that still I wasn't strong in,
Mhm.
and so I think that energy. Hi, Cindy. And so it made me really look at that. And there is these I don't know how you feel about this, Virginia, but you and I both are the let's welcome in the sad times, the rough times, whatever you want to call them.
All of
So,
it. Welcome it in. That's what Jesus taught me. Welcome everything in. Don't be afraid. Just welcome it in. You change it the minute you welcome everything in, it changes. And that is truth.
yeah, so other people are feeling this energy. Cindy's feeling this energy,
Yes.
definitely. And so, yeah, that's the thing is welcome it in and allow yourself to really feel it. And in 2024, I was really feeling pretty strongly that the momentum. Well, this is something you and I were chatting about, I think last week. We were saying these times that we have where you're in whatever emotion you're in, it once you let go, so to speak, that energy pushes you, propels you forward. But a lot of times we try to brush under the rug or not face what's going on, or um, have a false sense of positivity as opposed to really getting down there. And I just said this the other day. I said people that have done the inner work when they're positive, it's because they've already seen the other side.
Hmm.
So that being positive comes from a state of really being strong in themselves, and I think that that's powerful. But that more is the propelling of the energy, and that's how I felt. 2024 was going to do. We're going to propel forward into the hi Roxanne. So, um, but so I'm not sure how you feel about that, but
Well,
that's how I
no,
was feeling.
I felt it. And I think I called you. I have never, in the last probably 15 years, I've never been depressed. I have never felt anything until this last 2 or 3 years, and that would come in. But this time on this month in December, it was oppressive. I felt very I doubted myself. I never thought I'd ever doubt myself again, but I felt a doubting. And I even called you, I think, Jeremy. I said, I feel doubting in me. And I said, that is something that I never thought I would ever think about again. But it's energetic. And that's what we have to really understand, that a lot of this is just energy. And so, how you're going to receive that is going to change your whole state of mind.
Hmm.
And I had to go back and I had to do some really deep meditation. And when I say meditation, I'm laying still. I'm not discussing anything. I'm just allowing myself to experience my own body within my body and feeling everything. Why am I feeling depressed? Why did I feel oppressed? Why did I feel this? And the more I laid in it, the more I realized this is just energy. And we
Hmm.
can make it something worse, or you know that it worse than it was before, or just let it go. Just let it flow through and let go, and don't attach to that feeling. Move it off. But
Yeah.
not that you're not addressing it. You just recognized it, but you don't need to address it on a deeper level because it really is not yours anymore. Does
Hmm.
that make sense?
Yeah, 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 it does. And I think that's one of the things that we're actually doing in our we've started this groups that we're working with since what, September. Well,
September.
we've worked together off and on for many, many years. But in September, our both of our lives got propelled into some wonderful chaos, and we've learned how to balance it out. And so some people watching have heard this story, some haven't. But we were in this both on this show called the Jeff Mara podcast, and we've answered 5,000 emails since then,
Or better.
and or
Or
better. That I think that was the last count. We had about
yeah,
5,000,
it's there's I'm still getting them.
and everything that worked out perfectly because I literally well, laid off from my job in August, and Spirit told me to lay down. Yeah, and so I thought, well, why am I going to lay down and rest when I need to get out there? But I honored that, because, and I'm glad I did, because then it just got so busy to the point where I was moving out of my apartment. My lease was coming up, and I decided I wanted to just move out of my apartment and you know to focus in on other things. And so there was a point where I was working 12, 14-hour days a day, and Virginia was working a lot of hours. And so this energy of processing through that, she and I would call each other, and I'd be like, how are we gonna get through this day? And people would call and text me, and I'm like, I just can't respond to you right now because I just got to get work done.
Hmm.
But um, then there's an ebb and flow. So December got really slow,
Hmm.
which is good because it's exactly what we were just talking about. That energy of it gave us time to process what just happened in the last 3 months. It gave us a chance to refine what we were doing
Hmm.
and really look at things. And there's an old saying that if you're like, we both had said to the universe that we were bored. We had literally just said to the universe, "Hey, I'm bored. I don't know what to do," and so or would send us something to do or something like that. And we went through this. We weren't bored, that was for sure. So we've really processed through that and built a new website and put things together. And that's what makes life interesting, though. There's new things like Roxanne. I know that you've gone through a lot since I've known you now 10 years, and I've seen you, and I know Cindy, you've gone through a lot, and I've known you for many years as well. So it's like that's what we're going through. We're going through a change, and I think 2024 is just going to be a similar. We're gonna have those times where it's gonna be really really busy, and then times where we're going to have to process, which every business, every person has to do. It's called an off season.
Hmm.
So, uh,
Well, but also I think what we realized that it was giving us time just to be still because
mhm,
we were overwhelmed. I mean, I don't think people have any idea. We were overwhelmed. And what I loved about December and the end of November was this, that I got to call people on the telephone that I would not have been able to do 2 months prior because we had been over, we were over inundated. But I've talked to a lot of people on the phone, just talking to them for 15 or 20 minutes. And that's all they needed, was just me to give them some insight And I mean, I worked with a man just recently, and I called him, and he said, and all he could do is say, I can't believe you're calling me. I can't believe it. And I said, why would you leave me your number if you didn't want me to call you? I mean, but and I'm not, and I have never done celebrity very well. I'm not a celebrity, and it used to throw me out the first 3 or 4 months because people couldn't talk to me because they thought I was a celebrity. I've never been a celebrity. You know, I mean, it shocked me because I kind of got tickled. I thought, uh, I'm just me. You know, I talk like this. You know that, Jeremy. I'm not talking like I'm a celebrity. I've talked like this all my life. Very
Mhm.
confident in what I do and who I am. And I thought, what is that's not, I've never experienced this. It's been an enlightenment for me and an opportunity. And I loved when everything slowed down for me because that means I could pick up the phone. And I have called many, and you know it. And I text them or I tell them, you know, give me a call. And I got to do something because when we first started this, it was so overwhelming. We couldn't even call anybody. We were just trying to answer, get down what we needed them to know. And it's been an incredible opportunity for you and I, but for all the people that we've met. I mean, we've met some amazing people in this last 3 or 4 months. I mean, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what 2024 is going to be because we're better at where we are now. We have more of a stronger foundation of who we are,
Hmm.
which we had that, but never like this. So, yeah, this is why this little coffee chat is all about because they get to see us as we are. Now, hopefully, the next time you'll see us in our robes because that's where I was just about 10 minutes ago. I was in my robe. And I usually had a red robe. I now have a purple robe. Absolutely love it. And it stays warm and it is really cold here in Kentucky. So, yeah, we have new opportunities with everybody, and I'm hoping that people will recognize we're here to really change the world. And but we got to change it first with ourselves. It
Hmm.
can't be done by a large group. If everybody's working on their own self, each one of us, that raises the frequency up right there. Pretty amazing. We've seen it. And you and I, Jeremy, have seen people in these small groups, webinars, people changed. I mean, I've got
Yeah.
comments of people who they've changed, just talking to them, listening to what we've gone through. These people, they recognize what we've done. And we have
Hmm.
done a lot of work
Yeah, we have.
personally with them as well as webinars and small groups. But both of us agree the webinar and the small groups are the ones that we really enjoy because there's a group of us working and you can feel
Hmm.
the energy on it. That's how I recommend it because it is. And if when you want to work with us, you'll be prepared to work with us on a higher level of consciousness or energy. That's what we wanted. So
Well, and
yeah.
that's one of the things. And hi, Fernando, how are you? Calling in, watching in from Brazil. So that
Oh
we,
wow.
yeah, yeah. So one of the things that I found interesting is like they saw us on these podcasts and they were all just rushing in and they wanted to have a session. And one of the things that we said is that we would rather you come to one of our smaller groups or one of the other groups, because there is an unified energy that comes in when you are working in groups. And so that really, um, we just felt it would have been better for that to happen. And one of the things that's hard is when you spend a 1 hour session with us, where we spend this time and we're just teaching you how to the basics of breathing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then people get confused. So, but there is it's really a lot more important for you to really get this on an energetic level, as opposed to us spending all this time with your mind, quieting your mind down so you can understand the breathing and the feeling of the breathing. And one of the things that everybody's been saying, help me raise my frequency, help me awaken, and all that other kind of stuff. I'm like, just get still and get quiet.
That's it.
And then it's like, because you're never going to escape. hard times in your life are things that are going to make you sad or things that are going to, nor do you want to, because those are things that help you grow as an individual or a soul.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of great nuggets of wisdom that can help you just by experiencing life. And I think Kelly's watching too, by the way.
Hey,
Uh,
Kelly, how are you?
and so there's that's good to hear from her. So
We were going to call her anyway, so we check in with her. But no,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it is that we have really, we've grown a lot ourselves. I mean, I wasn't planning on growing like this again in my age, but I needed to, obviously. And I'm very proud. I'm not proud, but I'm very happy to see that all of these people have, really responded to what we were talking about. If we hadn't had that one video, and then Jeremy had his video, and then I've done probably what, 13, 14 podcasts right now.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have another one at 11:30. But I'm just telling the same stories. I mean, well, no, they're not all the stories. I mean, I try to add on a little bit over there that I don't normally talk about because I want people to really know us as a friend. If you could come into my house or Jeremy's house, you would be able to recognize us, that we're just the way we are right now. We're not any more different than we
Yeah,
were 4 months ago.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that's big for me, to let people to recognize who I am.
yeah.
I'm not any more
Well,
different than anybody else.
and I one of the things I think, and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, is I was sitting here thinking is that in order to understand a person that you're going to work with, or in order to work with somebody, you have to understand who they are, and that's one of the reasons why I like just being honest on my videos and saying, "Hey, I'm going through a hard time," and
Mhm.
or I was emotional today, and I think that that to me gives people permission to
Be real.
to be real and authentic. Somebody said earlier, authenticity equals strength, and I agree with them because it's if we're not willing to ourselves, what did you use to say, fillet ourselves open,
Yes,
and really just be authentic with people that we're working with, then what are we doing? It's there's no purpose to what we're doing. So,
great.
and good morning, Suzanne. We got Dr. Danielle and Dr. Rodriguez watching. So good morning, everybody. So, um, and so, but yeah, I think that being authentic is a big thing, and I think to me, spirituality is easy. It's simple. Well, it's simple,
It's simple.
and I don't want to say easy. It's simple, and in sales we used to say keep it simple, stupid. In spirituality, we don't have to say stupid. We could just say keep it simple, spirit. You know? So, and we overcomplicate it. So,
Mhm. Well, what I have seen in the last 3 or 4 months is the desperation of a lot of people, because their minds are running so fast that that's all they fear, is the fear of what's going to happen, and they're futuristic or in the past. And when they will just stay in the now of this moment, and it's hard. That is one of the hardest things, is to stay in the now of the moment, because my mind will go over here, my mind will go over there. I had to really learn how to listen to my inner self, but also stop being in the past or stop being in the future. I had to live in the now. And that was my practice for many, many years, just learning to be in the now and not bringing in the past or the future, because the future does not exist and the past is already gone. So you're bringing in your now to the future and the past that doesn't even exist. So you want to be in the reality of what now is. It's real. And this is the real truth right here, right now. And that's the thing I want people to learn, because once you learn that now moment, everything else kind of clears, and it gets very clear within your mind and your soul that you are a really divine being, and you came here to be in a divine being and to really learn who you really are. That's what I learned, is I didn't know who I was. I knew how my mother told me, my town told me, my high school told me, or my schools told me, but I really didn't know who I was until I woke up to find out who I really was. So
okay.
that is what I think a lot of people are trying to find out in themselves. Who are who am I? That's what it
Well, and I
is.
think I think that too, like sadness. I know that somebody mentioned that they're going through some things and some things are very sad, but I think that sadness, of course, it's a part of our experience here as a divine being. But the other thing is that a lot of times sadness is taking us to the ending of something, and through sadness and ending, it helps us discover who we are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like um, Fernando knows that I last year I left my career, my job, and then I got a consulting gig for about a year again, just for income. And then when I was you know, then it, when that ended, there was a somewhat of a sadness that came in because it's the ending of something. It's and grieving that 25 years of doing the same thing and having consistency and all those other things. And I think a lot of us, all of us watching, have experienced this at some level. Where we've lost. I mean, Jenny, you left your career, your family, everything else. I mean, my mother passed away now 12 years ago, and so it's one of those things. But through those losses, um, I can't speak for everybody else. I spent a lot of time thinking about who I was now without that, or without that experience, or without that situation, and what I wanted to be going forward. And so that really starts making you think, because it's hard to get clarity about who you are if you're busy doing the same old, or if you're having the same experiences, or if there's not something that jolts you into a new direction. So I think that that's an important thing to start thinking about when we're going through some of these hard times.
I agree. I mean, I don't regret anything that's ever happened to me, even all the way down to my father dying and all that when I was 16. I learned so much from those experiences to be even stronger in myself. And that's why I'm courageous enough to stand up and feel what I know and what I feel inside. I'm not going to hold back anymore. When we did the pandemic, a lot of us got suppressed and oppressed. I will not allow that again. I will never feel the way I did with wearing a mask and being totally oppressed. And I just won't allow that again because I really felt that in a way that I had never experienced before. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of us felt that way.
Yeah, and that's how felt, as far as, like, it wasn't necessarily on the mask. It was about on the idea that um, I couldn't express myself, whether it be if you agreed with me or not. I remember I called you and I said I feel caught in between a rock and a hard place between my this group of people and this group of people and their opinions, and it was opposing sides. And I've always been kind of a middle of the road person when it comes to a lot of things, and so and almost felt and was made feel guilty. People were trying to make me feel guilty for being that middle of the road person and not choosing a side or an idea. And I told myself I will never let another person tell me or make me feel in a way,
Right.
because I mean, you know how I am. I'm always about trying to work on finding more peace in my life. And shit, Virginia's experienced me saying, I just don't care.
And
and
that's exactly the truth. You say, I don't
and
care. I said, okay, then I get it.
yeah, and I'm not meaning that in disrespect. It just means that I've spent my entire life with people telling me about whatever they were felt strongly about, and I care about them, and I'm glad that they feel passionate about it, and I'm glad that they feel something about something, and so, but at the same time, if it doesn't resonate with me, then I'm just gonna be, and somebody, and you've never done that, but I'm just saying, if somebody's trying to force me to feel a certain way, I'm usually like, sorry, I just don't care. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well,
and
yeah.
so
But I was married to a narcissist. Now I didn't even recognize. Now I'm a psychiatric social worker, but I was never aware that he was a narcissist until I moved away with my when I moved away with them all, and I realized, oh my gosh, I've been living in an oppressed world or in a box and not even recognizing it. It's shocking. A lot of people, when they start waking up, they haven't really look at what's going on around them at that moment, and it wasn't what I thought it would be at all. So
Mhm.
this is such an opportunity. In 2024, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be addressing this. We're going to address all of the things that everybody's feeling that comes up on the surface. And let's look at the surface. Let's raise it up and let's find out and let's feel it out what really is going on here. So we all
Mhm.
can get very clear and very grounded to know what's really what we are a part of in this world. And sometimes it might not be the whole world. It might be just in your small area, but we have an opportunity. And I don't want anybody to miss their opportunities. I definitely didn't want to miss mine. So that's
Yeah.
why I said it's an opportunity for all of us to really experience the oneness of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think one of the things we're gonna start. I think we've been talking about doing these little coffee chats. If you notice, you can't see the with the green screen. I have a cup of coffee in my hand, but we're gonna do this on a regular basis. And by the way, Melissa, yeah, I agree with you. It comes with that comes with age, you know, and things. And so and good morning, Lisa. Hope thanks for tuning in. So our website, by the way, everybody, is mydivineinheritance.org, which is in the description of the show. Um, Come and check it out. We have the coolest thing I'm going to show you guys real quick because we really just wanted to kind of jump on and give people some, uh, you know, some things to, sort through the things that are going on in their life. But there is a couple things on here. We have one of the things that Jenny and I did not want to do is make things so outrageous that people can't afford it. And there's people that we've talked to that, especially like I can't remember, we were talking to somebody that was in Africa and they based $1 was a lot of money for them.
Uh-huh.
And so we created this. I flew up to Kentucky. We created these modules, and when we did, we added some stuff in that people can register for free. That's mydivineinheritance.org. Then we started a monthly membership because we had people coming to our groups like 3 and 4 times, and we just thought, well, why don't we just come up with something that's gives them what they're looking for to come more than once in a month and get a lot for you know what they were doing because they were some were paying $400 and $500 a month,
Yes.
and we were like, oh, why don't we just charge them 111 and they get what they were doing, and
Mhm.
so we were basing that on that. So you can join there. Then we have a webinar that's pay what you value it at. We didn't pay what you value it at. We just ask you to pray. Some people paid $5. We had some people pay 200.
Yes.
So it's whatever they value it at. There's a free meditation teaching the I call the River of Gold or the Golden River meditation that Virginia taught me about. Well, we taught it. We kind of worked on it when we started watching Bill Donahue,
Yeah.
and then we do all these little small group sessions where we like to keep these under 20. Um, so there's a lot of options there. And then of course people can book a session with us, and there's all these interviews. And then people were asking us a lot of questions. So if you just click here, there's just a bunch of stuff and resources on there that we wanted to be able to give people to be able to connect with us and get more information. So
And also, if they have another question, they can address that to us on the website.
yeah,
Let us know that there's a question on the floor and we'll get back with them as soon as possible. I
yeah,
mean, we're trying to give every opportunity for everybody to be, given that up. Well, it's an opportunity to really find out who they really are.
yeah.
Maybe they've had this one, deep, question and nobody could answer it. And if we can't answer it, you and I both go out and we seek it to
Yeah.
find it. If we don't know it either, we'll go out and find it ourselves.
Yeah.
So
And the last thing I'll say before we jump on, and I feel like probably maybe Friday mornings we could do this live, but
yes.
we'll figure it out. Um, we have a good friend we met over the past few months. Her name is Kelly, and so she's lives in Georgia, and we're looking at a retreat with her in Georgia. So if you're close by there and you would like to be a part of it, and more information will be coming out soon. And if even if you're not close by, Atlanta Airport is not that far. I think Knoxville is not far from where she's at as well. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but um, so we have a retreat coming up in Georgia, and Lisa's watching. Lisa did one in Savannah a few years ago, which she did a retreat in Savannah, which she loved. In Virginia, and I want to do one in Savannah as well,
Oh,
and go to
I love Savannah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's got a lot of good energy there. Strange energy at times, but I love going there. And we do like going into different places and working with the energy of that area. And
yeah,
we love working with people to learn that.
yeah.
So,
Well, Kelly's also said Columbia, South Carolina too is a good place where
yes.
people can fly into. So we're just saying if you are from somewhere else, you could fly in to any of those airports if you wanted to come to this
And you
retreat.
can meet us. And you truly can. You don't have to be on a screen. We'll be there.
Yeah, and we're not famous. We're just people. So
It's, exactly.
I know famous people, and they put their clothes on just like us.
Exactly.
That's not
Exactly.
me calling this time. But anyways, everybody have a wonderful week and a weekend, and be safe, everybody, and enjoy. And we'll probably be back on next Friday morning. So
Yes.
much love, everybody. Goodbye.